Hey guys, welcome back to another video of AL fishing. Pretty much in this video, I'm setting up my ultralight trout rod from scratch and dialing it in for rivers and trout lakes. Pretty much, I'm gonna explain why I'm building the setup. And of course, this is one of my favorite builds that I really enjoyed, especially fishing when I was in Colorado, and I built something similar at Bass Pro Shop. And I feel like with my new setup now, it's that's gonna be a lot better. So yeah, let's get into the video. So a little quick overview on why I'm building this rod. I'm pretty much trying to do some trout fishing, crappie fishing, making do greater for that. I'm a versatile fisherman, just like I did and I explained on the Dock Runner video, excuse me. I want to do finesse, so like actually fighting the fish, especially because UL is all about finessing, right? And having fun and fighting that fish. Pretty much set it up for travel, two-piece rod. Make sure that you can take it anywhere, because ultimately that's the goal, is to have fun anywhere. Fishing in Europe, Germany, Italy, France, wherever. I'm not too sure or familiar. I did fish in Europe, in Greece, but I heard that Germany has some really good places to fish, as well as here at mainland. But pretty much, I get sent all over the place doing what I do, and for that reason, I'm trying to make it, as versatile as I can get. All right, so the rod overview. What I ended up choosing for the rod is a 6-foot ultralight rod. That's 2 to 6 pound line rating, 1 to 32 to 1/4 ounce lures, and pretty much I'll explain why UL is perfect for trout, ultralight. So here it is. Here's the rod. This is the Okuma Celilo trout rod, I guess. Ultralight rod, trout and kokanee rod. It's a Celilo B. I know it's backwards, but I don't know if you guys want to try to decipher that. But yeah, it's a beautiful little pretty rod, and pretty much if you look at it this way, it's reversed now, but it's pretty cool. And I'm a sucker for cork. I've always been, and it has that nice cork feel. And plus, this is gonna pair up for what I have planned for today as far as putting on a reel. So that's gonna be really cool. So why a 6-foot ultralight rod? Number one is gonna be for control. I feel like control over distance for trout. I like sniping fish, and that's pretty much the key. So like being able to like throw it where I want to hit it at, and a 6-inch rod gives me the better accuracy, better control in tight spots, easier to handle in rivers and bushes, because long rods that just whip everywhere. Yes, 7-foot casts further, but I feel like that's a little bit more overkill. And for me personally, I feel like it's more for my bass rod, and 6-foot places lures better pretty much. Another reason why is because it's perfect for rivers and lakes, pretty much what I want my UL rod to do. It's not too short like the Dock Runner, so I can get better casting distance and do what I got to do with it. And it's not too long like the 7 foot and plus. And like I said, for me, it's just personally overkill. Not hating on those guys that do, but that's just my version of an ultralight rod. So it works for creeks, rivers, small lakes, and bank fishing. So it's pretty much versatile, and that's what I was explaining. It's a true do everything length. It's the most versatile, and honestly, it's quite fun. To just go ahead and pitch it. Number 3 is because it has better lure control, which is really important. With ultralight lures, you can fish trout magnets, like I said in the one of my videos. You can fish Rooster Tails. So I know one of the good colors is that white Rooster Tail, which I have here. And you can fish 1/8 spoons. Like I said before, 1 to 32 to 1/4 ounce lures, but I know that for my setup, 1/8 is going to be like the perfect spoon to throw. I'm not sure if that one's 1/8. It's just a little example I can do. And the shorter rod gives me more precise retrieve control and better feel for lure action. So pretty much it balances with my reel setup, because I got a small reel size 20. I'll show you guys in a bit, and the light line. A 6-inch rod feels balanced, less tip heavy as well. And why not the 7-inch? 7-inch is better for max casting distance over open water. Yeah, if that's gonna be your main rod or that's what you want to do. Me, I like to switch things out. Then you can go ahead and just run that, and that'd be like a cool all-around type of rod. But it's worse for tight areas, precision, you know, and travel handling. I'm pretty sure for you guys, you know, some people are different. You guys get used to it, but for me personally, I feel like it's just a little bit too much for me, and I can't really snipe as good as I can with this one. Why the Okuma Celilo? I'm sorry if I keep butchering that. This is the important part. You know, I pretty much thought I wanted the best, but why this rod is actually a smart pick, the durability, and that the durability is huge for ultralight. The ultralight rods pretty much break easy, and I've broken multiple. So with that being said, if I do break this, it's only like a $35 rod, 32 on Amazon or whatever, and it's not going to be hard to replace. Plus, it has perfect action. It has a tough blank. It's forgiving. It doesn't snap easy either. But if I were to snap it, oh well. That's why, you know, I got a more expensive reel, and you can always replace the rod. Number 2, moderate action. So yes, this rod is moderate action. It says it here, 6 foot powerful UL, and then action M. So for moderate, right? And it'll show you that here along the settings, and that means more bend, slower response, of course. And why it's good, it keeps fish pinned. Dribble hooks like your spoon, so I know a lot of hookup ratios or hookup setups have trouble with treble hooks, and it prevents line breaks for my 4-pound leader, which I'll explain later. Better for reaction lures. It's fast, more sensitive. Moderate is more forgiving and better for hookup ratio. You don't want to lose a fish, and I know a lot of people lose trout all the time, or even crappie. Moderate is actually excellent. Number 3, real world sensitivity. Is it the most sensitive rod ever? This thing? No, there's better rods, you know, of course. Is it good enough? Is it good enough with braid? Yes, I'm gonna explain that later. Yes, it is, because braid makes up the difference pretty much with this. It'll counteract this, and I'll explain that later. Value versus performance. I didn't overpay. You know, marginal sensitivity, you know, is a gain. It gains. Instead, I've got durable, versatile, and reliable, which is what you want for a UL, an ultralight rod. Versatility, which is important for me. I can fish this Hawaii. I don't think I will, because I don't want to ruin the reel that I got for it. I can, you know, fish it in Europe in case I ever do go back to Europe, or if I plan to go to Europe. Rivers, lakes, this rod can handle all of it. And I mean, real talk, I didn't buy the flashiest rod, but I built a balanced system, and it's going to look really cool with the reel that I'm going to attach to it. The rod is forgiving, the line is sensitive, the combo is very effective. So pretty much the breakdown of it is why 6-inch control, accuracy, versatility, and why Okuma. Durable, forgiving action. It looks nice to me, in my opinion. Perfect for the UL, ultralight, and braid setup, you know. My honest opinion, the setup is not cheap or mid. It's smart, and that's really what you want. I mean, just have a good rod. It doesn't have to be the most expensive. This one is kind of expensive, not gonna lie, minus for the hardware that I'm gonna put on it, but minus the actual rod. But I'd recommend it 100%. Now, I did mention this in my very last video when it came to the video talking about the dock runner. My favorite small reel of all time, I'm a Shimano guy, but is the President Pflueger. But I not only just get the President Pflueger, I ended up going with the President Pflueger XT20 size. Why? Because the President Pflueger is awesome and everything, and it never broke on me and never failed me. But this guy right here, I've been meaning to open it up for the longest time now, and I'm glad I finally get to do it. You know, this has been sitting on my bed, but I haven't been studying for something else. Anyways, I want to get into that. Why I chose it, the drag is smoother. It's lightweight. It's a lot more lighter weight than the regular President. Now, don't get me wrong. Go with the President and make it like $100 rod, the whole entire total setup. I just wanted to be bougie, and you know, I ended up getting this, which is a lot more pricier, and because it's reliable, and you know, I pretty much love light rods. So if you have extra money, go ahead and do this, but this is not necessary. Let's get into the unboxing. Cool. So let's see if there's anything in this box. Nope, it's just an empty box now. And there it is. So this is gonna look cool, not only because the color scheme, excuse me, matches the Celilo, Okuma Celilo. If I keep saying that wrong, you know, just correct me in the comments, guys. But look at that. It's just more beautiful. There's a new version, an old version. For the President, I had the older version. If you can pick that up, I'd recommend that more than the newer version. I'm not too sure how the newer version goes. Oh, and I just dropped that. All right, cool. We put the little cap back on here, the little plastic one, but that beautiful, like I said, I'm a sucker for cork. That beautiful cork handle is gonna pair up nice with the rod handle. And yeah, the color scheme pretty much almost resembles the same color as the rod. So that's gonna pair up nice, and just look at that. But anyways, Yeah, this is the President XT, and beautiful little reel, size 20. Pretty much what I wanted. I did not notice that there's you know, to switch the little lever on here, a little lever switch so it can go reverse, which is fine. You know, we're gonna be setting our drag, especially with the UL, pretty low or pretty light. And I mean, I hardly ever use it anyways. It's more of a nuisance, but it does, keep in mind, it does not have this. I don't remember if my president did or not, but yeah, but that is really smooth. And of course, once I break it in, it'll be better. But this is the President XT20, so pretty cool. And we'll be pairing that up with our rod, but you don't have to go this expensive. I just, you know, bouginess, and I want to see how it looks. Are you crazy? On a UL ultralight rod, the fish are gonna see it. That's why we're going with this expensive Seaguar Invis, you know, 100% fluorocarbon. The J-Braid was expensive too. I'll get to that. Why it's invisible to fish? It has perfect shock absorption, and it's perfect for trout. Of course, why the braid and leader combo? It's the best of both worlds, I feel like. It has the strength and sensitivity. It has the stealth presentation. And pretty much, I'll go in a little bit deeper and why I kind of dropped a little bit more dollars on this. Pretty much why the expensive line matters a little bit more on an ultralight rod, on any rod, but you know, it does matter. With ultralight, everything is smaller, lighter, and more sensitive. So the line quality has a bigger impact than heavier setups. Number one is the sensitivity, which is my biggest reason. Of course, I have to compensate for the Celilo because some people claim it's not that sensitive, which is fine. The braid, the pretty much the J-Braid, it has zero stretch. It transmits everything through the line, so you'll feel the light trout bites, excuse me, the bottom contact, the lure vibration, and you'll just be able to set the hook a lot faster, pretty much. Cheap mono, you'll probably miss some bites, and you know, good braid, you'll feel everything. Casting distance, good braid, you know, it allows you to have a thinner diameter and it's smoother. So you can cast farther with lighter lures, which is all about, you know, ultralight, what that all is. I can't even say it properly. That's all about what ultralight is all about. There you go. Thank you. Especially with the Sweet Spot, the 1 ounce spoons. It doesn't have to be that. You can fish in between those two, or yeah, the specifications of the rod. Rooster Tails and trout magnets, which is what I'd be throwing. The fluorocarbon leader. So the Seaguar, yes, it's expensive as well. It's nearly invisible. It doesn't reflect light like braid. And it matters for trout because they're pretty much line shy most of the time. And it's beautiful presentation in clear water. Straight braid, it can spook the fish. Fluoro leader, more bites. And of course, for my setup, it's going to be the 8-pound braid. Like I said, it's super strong but thin. The 4-pound Fluoro for the finesse and presentation because you want to be able to finesse. So I have strength and stealth. The Fluoro adds a slight stretch, a little bit of shock absorption, and less breakoffs, better hook sets off the on the light line. Why not run 4-pound Fluoro? I can, but I mean, you lose the casting distance, which is really important, especially with the 6 foot. The sensitivity, the line life, you know, because Fluoro memory sucks on spinning reels sometimes. And why not cheap braid? Cheap braid frays faster, noisy through the guides, worse casting, color bleeds, of course, which I don't like dealing with. Breaks easier than, you know, what it's rated for. And a good braid like the J-Braid is smoother, stronger, and lasts longer. Pretty much a cheap setup will less feel, shorter casts, more missed bites, and you know, a good setup with the more expensive line will help you feel everything, cast farther, more bites, and help you compensate. The real truth, you know, no doubt about it, on the ultralight, the line matters more than the rod sometimes because you know, you're dealing with such light lures and the subtle bites. Pretty much the combo is expensive because it gives you maximum sensitivity, especially with this 4-pound. I prefer a good 4-pound over a cheaper one. Why am I going with 4-pound? Because I feel like true ultralight is like 4 to 6 pounds, and I just like the extra little type of finesse, I guess. That equals more fish, and pretty much that's, yeah, these are going to be the two lines that we're going to rig up, and I'll show you that later. So pretty much for the spooling process, I'm pretty sure you guys know how to spool. If you guys want me to show you guys, maybe in another video, double, you know, uni knot or the FG knot, you know, is pretty good. Keep it simple for you guys. If you guys are gonna add any kind of braid to anything, unless it's a bait caster, from my experience, always make sure that you are adding a piece of electrical tape or something so that way your line doesn't slip. I forgot about that on the dock runner, and it was slipping all the time until I ended up having to, you know, take it off and fix it again. So yeah, the final setup, I'll show you guys in a bit, and let me just rig this up. Thank you guys. Oh wow, that feels a lot whippy. Maybe it's not the most sensitive, but it definitely feels like it is. Pretty cool. Alright guys, it took me a while. No one's perfect. I'm learning too. This is why I like doing this kind of videos, to teach people, and maybe you guys will teach me. But this is the double uni knot. We're gonna go ahead and put that back on. Put that through the rod eyelids. And here it is, guys. This is the final product. So there you go. That's that Chartreuse braid I was telling you about. That's the J-Braid. This stuff is really cool only because you can see it in the water, and it's J-Braid, which is ×8. There's a difference in them. I'd recommend this one. Everything I'm dropping the link for below. But yep, there it is. And then it's attached to a uni knot. And the uni knot you can find down the rod here. Right here. I'll point at it there. Right there's my uni knot, and that's good and secure. But overall, not a bad rod whatsoever. Beautiful build. Honestly, not disappointed at all. This is like one of my dream builds. It goes good with the reel, the rod, everything matches up. Phenomenal rod. The Okuma Celilo, and you know, the President XT20. Sorry for butchering that, but yeah, beautiful presentation on a white. I believe it's a 1/8 ounce. Maybe I'm gonna be wrong. Rooster tail, and of course the two Seaguar and J-Braid. So pretty much it's going to be the ultralight rod, 6-inch, the braid, and the 4-pound leader. I'll pretty much just fish, like I said before, the trout magnets, the Rooster Tails, Kastmasters, and small swim baits for it. Pretty much why the setup is versatile and why you want to build something like this. You can, like I said before, fish at rivers, lakes, travel fishing, which is super important for many of you guys, including myself, and even light saltwater fishing. So overall, you know, with the line and everything, it is a pretty expensive rod. You could go ahead and opt for cheaper line, and like I said, this is just bougie-ness, you know. Yeah, you could get the the President, the regular President. I just wanted it to color match the. I gotta stop topping that. The actual reel and rod combo. But yeah, beautiful setup and beautiful presentation. So in closing, this is going to be my go-to finesse setup moving forward. Honestly, what do you guys run? I want to know what you guys run. If there's anything better that you recommend, or if you like this, or anything you change. Honestly, this isn't about hate. I just want to, you know, show my hobby and my love for fishing with you guys. And yeah, please feel free to comment, ask questions, like, subscribe. And yeah, this is 8 Alpha Fishing, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.